So in continuation with the earlier session, today we are going to learn the interrupts in 8051. Already we have gone through the pinout diagram of the same, and we have come to know that there are how many interrupts are there. So there are totally 5 plus 1 interrupts are there. So you will say ki why this 5 plus 1 and not directly the 6 interrupt, because in somewhere the 5 interrupts are there, it is written like that in 8051, and in some books the 6 interrupts are there. So why this bifurcation is there? So for that we should know about the which are the these 5 interrupts and which is the another this one special interrupt is here. So if you are remembering the pinout diagram of the 8051, I will just shift to that. Yes, this is the pinout diagram of 8051. So if we will concentrate on pin number 9. So what the explanation we have got about this particular pin? It is a reset pin. It is a hardware reset pin. That means if you will give the logic 1 to this pin, all this 8051 will get reset. Means in whatever condition it may be, so it will come to the initialization. That is by default, what is the initialization starting position is there, so it will come to the reset condition. So this is the one special interrupt which is not included in the regular interrupt for 8051. But always we have to remember that this is a master reset pin number 9, and which is a non-maskable. So what is maskable and non-maskable? So definitely in today's session we are going to concentrate. But this reset pin is nowhere been explained anywhere or in any lecture or in the any book much importance they have given. But it is a master reset that we don't have to forget. When we are making a program, writing a code, so definitely this reset pin we can used. Means when it is a physically we are going to interface the any devices and all that, so that time this reset pin is very important. So somewhere you might be observed on the trainer kits, that is one push button it is given, and below that it is written reset. So this reset is nothing but this particular pin is there. That is when you press that button, so VCC it is going to be connected to the this RST pin, and all the 8051 will get reset. So this is the first interrupt, which is a non-maskable, which is a master reset. That is the we have explained over here. Other than that, the 5 interrupts I told. So which are these 5 interrupts and what is the interrupt? So that we will see now. Before going to start the explanation for the interrupt, always we're supposed to remember the one register, that is PSW, which is nothing but a showing or indicating the flags. So which type of flags are there in this PSW? That is program status word, carry, auxiliary carry, then overflow, then the which mode it is been going to be used, then the parity flag, the zero flag, like this. So all this about the explanation we have seen. So what is the use of this particular PSW in the interrupt or the next what we are going to learn in timer? So always this PSW is important because this parity is always been there in every action. The carry and auxiliary carry, so they are limited to the arithmetic operations like this. But we supposed to remember the all the working of or the importance of this PSW register. So this is what the explanation it was given. And RS1, RS0, which bank is going to be used for just sharing or for storing the data. So that is decided by this one, RS1 and RS0. So you might be remembering that if I want to store the data in the R7 register, so R7 of bank 3, so that time you supposed to choose this PSW, you supposed to set this PSW this 1 bit in RS1 and RS0 place. So you already might be done some projects and all this in the diploma. So you might be knowing this one, that is what is the set and what is the reset and how the command is going to be give. So at the time of practical, how to set this particular PSW, the bank 3 and bank 2, that we are going to concentrate there. So right now you just remember that key, how these banks can be selected through this PSW. Okay. So now come back to this particular the interrupt. So I think this is gone outside. Just give a second. Okay. So what is interrupt and what it mean? So basically an interrupt is the occurrence of a condition or an event that cause a temporary suspension of a main program, and the control goes to the another program which is known as the ISR, that is interrupt service routine, or the another way in the interrupt handler. So as it is an interrupt driven system, so gives it's a illusion of doing many things simultaneously. Quick response to event suitable for real-time control application. Means what is meant by this particular interrupt, the practical example I will give. So sometimes we require that the temperature has to detect, the pressure has to detect, the gas we supposed to detect. So at a time, 3 different work has to be done, and accordingly the output has to be displayed. So in this one, the real-time control, that is the how much the time has passed, that is the timer work. So that is also the one type of interrupt. If 1 minute is over, stop the work. So this is again the interrupt. So just counting for 1 minute, and if it is over, so stop the program, like that. So this is the main practical application of this event or this the interrupt. The one of the best example, that is the stopwatch, that is after a few seconds or whatever the event is going to be happen, so we supposed to give an interrupt and it will stop the this particular working. Got it? So this is what the base level, that is the programmed interrupted program and the foreground in that it is going to be work. And at interrupt level, that is internally, the ISR is going to be found. So what is this ISR? In coming slide we are going to concentrate. So intimate the controller by sending it and the interrupt signal, and inform controller that a device needs its a service. Means from externally, whatever the devices you have connected, so it is sending one signal to the controller and telling that I require the interrupt. You just stop your work and do my work. Like that, it is going to be happen in the this interrupt. And after the microcontroller executes that all that the work of that device, so it will resume and execute the main program. So it is the simple concept of this interrupt. So how many ways are there to just start the interrupt? So there are 2 ways of just implement the interrupt. That is, a single microcontroller can serve several devices by 2 ways. And that is the first one, that is called the polling method. And another one is the interrupt method. So normally by default, we are using the interrupt method. Then what is this polling method? So you just check out over here. The microcontroller continuously monitor the status of all devices in round robin manner. So that the name it has been given. But in our language, we can say that the one by one, step by step, it is just checking all these particular interrupt status. If there are 5 interrupts are there, so it will just check the first status of first interrupt, then second interrupt, then third interrupt, fourth and fifth, like this, and again first. So in this manner, it is going to check the status of this particular. So what is happening in this one? So if it found that key interrupt 1 has been occurred, so that time it will not go to the interrupt 2 checking the status. So it will execute that first, it will complete that first, the interrupt 1, and then only it will goes to the interrupt 2, then 3, 4, 5. Got it? That means one interrupt at a time only it can be conduct or it will process. So it is having a little, we can say, the drawback of this particular polling system. So it is not going to use much more. So when the conditions are given for a given device are met, it performs the service. And after that, it moves on to the monitor next device until everyone is serviced. Got it? That means if interrupt 1 is occurred, then interrupt 1 is over, then it will check interrupt 2. It will check the status. If not, go to the interrupt number 3. And at this moment, if interrupt 1 is occurred, so it has to wait till interrupt 3, interrupt 4, interrupt 5 will get over. It will check the status, and again when the time of this interrupt 1 will come, so that time it will start giving the service to the interrupt 1. So this is what the polling method is here. And what about the another, that is the interrupt method? So in interrupt, whenever any device needs its service, that device notifies the controller by sending the interrupt signal. So how to send this interrupt signal, which registers are there, that already we have gone through through SFR. So the interrupt giving method can be again the two ways, that is hardware method and the software method. The hardware method is nothing but just like the push button or the something, another peripheral is connected to the 8051. So it can be give that particular interrupt signal. And through software, if we are talking, so there are 2 registers are there, SFR. And if you are remembering, the names are IE and IP. So these 2 registers are very important as far as the interrupt concept is been concerned. Got it? So here we can say that the IE and IP are going to be used for the particular concept of the interrupt. So the another brief line is the program which is associated with this interrupt is called ISR. So in the first slide also we have seen that what is this ISR. So ISR is nothing but a particular location is allocated for each interrupt. A particular location is allocated for this each interrupt, and whenever that interrupt, if interrupt 1 is occurred, so the pointer will goes to that particular location. If interrupt 2 is occur, that pointer will goes to its respective location, like that. Okay, so which are these locations? They are fixed, that also we will see. But before that, diagrammatically we can have an explanation about the particular interrupt. So as you can see in this slide, the 2 blocks are shown in the upper diagram, that is peripheral device and controller. So peripheral device is giving the signal, that is interrupt signal, to the controller. So what is happening afterwards? So microcontroller was normally been conducting the main program. Line by line it is going to conduct. But when this particular interrupt signal is received, so what it is doing, suppose right now it is conducting the instruction move A, R2 at 8000. This is its a location, and the next instruction will be at 8001. So it has to go to this particular ISR location. This is the main program, and on the right hand side you can see the ISR program is here. So the control is going to jump to this ISR. But before going to jump to the ISR, this particular data key right now at what position it is and at the next time where it should go. So all this has to be stored somewhere, and that time the main role of this stack comes in the picture. Otherwise the stack nowhere we have used till now for the arithmetic operations or the logical operations, but whenever we are talking about the interrupt, so this stack position is going to be come in the picture. So what it is doing, so you might be aware that there are only two instructions related to stack. So stack is a temporary memory, and the instructions which are used for them, it is a push and pop. Push means to insert into stack, and pop means to take from the stack in a simple language. So here what it is doing before going to go to the ISR, it is just storing the next this address particular into this particular the stack area, as well as it will save the PSW status also. So as I told in the first slide today only, that is what is the importance of PSW. Okay, right now what is the parity, right now is the carry is there, right now if the this what we can say the zero flag is set. So all this information is going to be stored in this stack, because whenever from subroutine the control will come to the main program, it is required. So that's why it is going to be stored in this particular stack. And afterwards, this particular pointer in the sense PC, the name it is been given the PC, that is program counter, which stores this particular data or the address, not data, it is an address. The difference between the data and the address, now we are well aware. So this particular pointer is transferred to this particular ISR, and it will execute all the instructions in this ISR. At the end of ISR, this statement must be there, that is RET. So here it is written return instruction. So it should be there, which is indicating that my work is over. Now the control can go back to the main program. But where to go in main program? So that address can be fetched from stack. That address can be fetched from this stack, that is with the instruction of pop. So it will just go to the 8001 and the next instructions are going to be work. So this is what the interrupt can be explained in this way diagrammatically. In the same way, if algorithm we are talking about, so here you can see these are the few steps which are going to be happen in this interrupt. So which are these? So first step, microcontroller complete the execution of current instruction. Means some instruction is going on, and in that time only if the interrupt signal is come, so that time it will first complete the execution of current instruction. Then PSW is pushed to the stack. Status of this PSW is pushed to the stack. The next thing, the PC content, that is program counter. What is the next address is there? So that is also pushed to the stack. And then the interrupt flag is reset. So this is also very important step. Which flag is occurred? That flag, I received that, acknowledged that, and I have to reset that flag. So this is the IF flag, it has been called. So flag is the related to the external hardware interrupt, and which are this? So that we have seen in the two registers, that is IE and IP. Okay, so this interrupt flag has also been reset so that the next interrupt signal can be received. And then PC is loaded with ISR address. So these are the few steps. Program counter is loaded with ISR address. So till now we have announced that ISR interrupt service routine has a fixed location and all that one address. What is the address? So In the next slide, we are going to see that which addresses are there defined, predefined actually. So for each of the interrupt. Before that, we will see the classification of interrupt. So classification of interrupt in depending on various parameter, it has been classified in three ways. If we are talking about external and internal interrupt, different interrupts are there. If we are talking about maskable and non-maskable interrupt, different interrupts are there. Vectored and non-vectored interrupts are there. So they are also the classified in this way. So what does it mean? So one by one, we will see, have a discussion on this one. So listen carefully and note it down if it is possible. If you are with a pen and paper, these categories and all these very important slides are here, and the explanation is given by me only. Okay. So what is this external and internal interrupt? So in 8051, there are total 5 interrupts. 2 are external, 3 are internal. And plus that one master reset is there. That is the 6th interrupt. But normally if it will ask in the MCQs, so that time the 5 answer is also correct and 6 answer is also correct. Got it? So there is some ambiguity in between that key, how many interrupts we supposed to tell. But 99% everywhere they are just telling that 5 interrupts are here. So we are also following the same, and we will keep the 5 interrupts for 8051. But don't forget about the next one. So in this, as I told, 2 external and 3 internal interrupts are here. So what is mean by external and what is the internal? So external means whenever you are going to connect any peripheral to the 8051, like I was given the example of just connecting the any sensor, and it is just giving the instructions that after 1 minute just stop or you do this work. So that is the external. And the internal interrupt means the software interrupt also we can say, that is internally there are so many circuits it has been implemented inside the 8051, like timer T0 and T1 or TX, RD. For serial communication, it is the there. They are also one of the type of this particular the internal interrupt. So two external interrupts are which? For that we can go again to the this one. So here you can observe the INT0 and INT1, P3.2 and P3.3. So they are the 2 external interrupts are available in 8051, pin number 12 and pin number 13, 2 external. And where are the 3 internal? So they are nothing but here. You can just observe the timer T0, T1, that is P3.4 and P3.5. These are the 2, and plus here RXD and TXD, that is used for the serial transmission and reception. Serial transmission and reception. So this is the 3rd internal interrupt for 8051. So if any peripheral is connected, so serially you can communicate with it with the use of this P3.0 and P3.1. So how to do that in the next or the coming units, we are going to see one by one. So today only just concentrate on this, what is this concept, how many interrupts are there and how they are going to be used. Okay, so these are the total 5 interrupts available in the 8051. Then the next category or the classification based on maskable and non-maskable. So it might be some time the case will happen ki at a time 3-4 interrupts are coming. Ki 2 external interrupts also, timer also are going to approach to the 8051. So it is a moment of just taking the decision ki which interrupt has to process first, or which interrupts are not used anymore. So that can be decided by the user by programming. Okay, only interrupt one has to be work and all other has to disable. So to make it disable, it is called the masking of this interrupt. Masking of the interrupt, and that can be done through programming only, through software control only. So in this category of these 5 interrupts, all 5 interrupts are maskable. Listen my sentence or note it down. All 5 interrupts are maskable. But the 6th interrupt which we were talking about, reset. So reset is a non-maskable interrupt. Note it down. Reset is a non-maskable interrupt. Okay. So coming next to the classification, that is vectored and non-vectored interrupt. So what is this vector? So till now we have just talked about ISR, interrupt service routine. It has a specific location, and that is nothing but the vectored table. In that only, this all the ISR addresses are going to be stored. Means if we will see, I will check out here. Here you can see that on the first column, it is having the 5 this interrupt. Second, it is a vector address, that is also called as a ISR address. So they are the starting address. And this is the interrupt priority also. So this is a very important slide as far as this particular the interrupt is been concerned. Okay. So first priority is for INT 0. INT 0 means external interrupt 0. Second, timer 0. Third, interrupt 1. Fourth, timer 1. And last, it is serial interrupt. So this is what the priorities are here for this all the 5 interrupts. So if INT 0 is coming, means that interrupt 0 is occurring. So the PC, that is program counter, will goes to address 0003H. If timer 0 has came, so it will goes this program counter to the 000B. For interrupt 1, the address predefined, that is vector location, is 0013. For timer 1, it is 001B. And for serial interrupt, it is 0023. Okay. Now you has to be observed here what is the specialty of just deciding this particular the addresses. So if you will see the difference between these 2 addresses, each one, so it is of 7 bytes. Means each interrupt service routine is allotted 7 bytes of address. This is also very important sentence. Nowhere you will found this one. 00032 000B. How much is the difference? 7 bytes. Then 000B to 0013. How much is the difference? 7 bytes. So whatever you want to write about timer 0, it has to concentrated in these 7 bytes only. So this is what each one is having the 7 bytes capacity of writing this particular ISR and just subroutine to write this particular the subroutine. And we have talked about this interrupt priority also. So this is by default. This is by default that we can also change. How? By using the one of the our SFR, that is IP, interrupt priority. If you want to change this particular priority, and if you want to give the priority, first priority or most highest priority to this timer 1, so this 4 can be replaced by the 1. So in that way we can do it. So when we will learn to programming, so that time we will take the programming for the one of for interrupt. And that time, just remember to remind me that how to change the priority. So that also we will discuss practically in that time. Right now, you just remember the key. What is the priority? Who is having the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth priority, and what is their predefined fixed location. So we were at about this particular point, key vectored and non-vectored interrupt. So here, as we have seen that key, this all the 5 interrupts are having the vectored address. That means all are this particular the what it has been called vectored interrupt. But in some cases, if peripheral is having this particular capacity to tell the 8051, okay, don't go to the 0003 and use whatever the address or the subroutine where I stored. So go to that particular address. That means non-vectored interrupt. That can be also done with the software only. If what we can say, the sensor, it has been connected at the input and it has given int 0, that is external interrupt, it has been given to the 8051. So that time it will tell that you don't go to the 0003. Instead of that, go to some ABCD. There I have written the subroutine program. Execute that and then come back to the main program. So in this case, this is the what it has been called non-vectored interrupt. Otherwise, by default, it is a vectored. All the interrupts are vectored category only. So this is what the classification of this particular interrupt is here. So in other way, if you are going for the types of interrupt, so already we have seen in the next slide, that is types of interrupts. So there are 5 types of interrupts in 8051. Timer 1, timer 0, int 0, int 1, and serial communication interrupt, that is RI and TI. So what is this RI and TI? So they are the 2 bits of this particular the SCON register. So already we have seen one of the SFR, that is SCON, serial communication controlled register. So just go through that. So you will come to know that what is this RI oblique TI. So you might be observed here in this slide, out of this 5, 3 are red and 2 are blue. It is highlighted. So what is the meaning? So it is written below one. That is, in an 8051 microcontroller, there are 2 external interrupt, 2 timer interrupt, and 1 serial interrupt. So if you will make a category external and internal, then 2 external, 3 internal. So in that way, the red color, it is indicating the internal interrupts are here. Okay, so this is what the about the types of interrupt is here. So I think it is a wrongly red color because the internal interrupts are 1, 2, and 5. It is like that. The coloring, it is wrong one. So internal interrupt 1, 2, and 5. So these are the internal interrupts are here. So this is what we talked about the ISR and there the spelling is also, it is wrong, and their vector address THEIR. So here also this is the fixed one. So you can remember this starting with the 0003 plus 7, it is 0B, plus 7, it is 13, plus 7 bytes, it is 1B, and plus 7, it is 23. So one more thing we are supposed to observe is that it is a 16-bit address. It is a 16-bit address. Somewhere we have started the program like ORG00H, is it? So as the data was only of means the instructions are of only 2-3 lines, so that is okay. But if it is a longer one, so that definitely it should be have the in the way of this 4-byte address, because as we know that 8051 maximum has the address locations from 00000 to FFFFH. So all the addresses must be in between this one. So that is also one of the important thing related to this. Next one, that is the which are the registers are being related with this 8051 interrupt. So already in the SFR we have gone through this, the particular in 8051 there are two interrupt registers. One is IE, interrupt enable register, and another one interrupt priority. So definitely the work of this IP is to decide the priority or to change the priority, nothing else. But IE is very important because in this we are going to enable or disable, start or stop the particular interrupts are there. So the study of this IE is very important, and that is already we have seen in the earlier in the SFR. The address in the RAM for this IE, it is a 8-bit register and it is having the A8H. So as I told that key in some SFRs locations are very important and they can be asked in the MCQ questions. So that time you should remember this all one. So IE, that is A8, and for IP it is B8. IP it is B8. So like this it is having the configuration of this particular IE and IP. So both are the 8-bit register and they are the bit addressable also. So what is mean by bit addressable? So out of 8-bit, a single bit also we can set or reset. A single bit we can set or reset and avoiding the other bits also. And this is what the bit addressable addresses. It is the IE or the IP. So if it is possible, just I will open this the IE or IP so that it will be easy for us. Just give a second to me. I didn't found this IE and IP, so leave that. Okay, I didn't find that particular PPT. In the next session, we will see that one. So right now you just try to just as a homework, you can just take it at this the IE and IP, what are they and which bits are there in this particular register that you supposed to just go through it and how it is going to be affect and how it is going to be work. or how we can set this particular. So with the help of one of the small program, we will concentrate and we will try to explain over here. So what is the summary of today's session we have seen? So we have studied the interrupts. So which are the two methods of handling the interrupt? That is polling and interrupt. So what is the polling? One by one, it is just checking the status of all the interrupt. And what is the interrupt? The interrupt, it is nothing but there are 5 interrupts are here. So it will just check all the interrupts at a time. It can decides the priority, that the priority wise it will have this work on this particular interrupt, and accordingly the ISR are going to be executed. So what is ISR? ISR is nothing but the small set of small instructions when executed, providing service to the interrupted device. It is a subroutine, we can say. And after that, the classification we have gone through, that is depending on various parameters. The classification also we have seen, depending on that the what we can say, that it's external, internal, the maskable, non-maskable, vectored and non-vectored. So which is the non-maskable interrupt? RST, reset. It is the sixth interrupt is there, and which is non-maskable. But in picture, it is not coming anywhere. So all the whatever we have discussed, the 5 interrupts, so they are the maskable interrupts. Vectored, non-vectored, what it is, and how exactly the this location are going to be saved in the stack, and how this ISR is going to be observed or it is executed, and how this control come back to the main program, that also we have seen today. So I hope you will do the study of IE and IP. Just try to remember or recall that the concepts of this one. So we will take one small program in the next session. Okay, so I will stop sharing over here. This is all for today's session. So already sharing is done. So I will take the attendance here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Roll number 24. Are you there? 24. No. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. What to do? 33. 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. 41. 43. From boys only the maximum absenteeism is there, and they are the regular absent. Definitely our HOD will take some action against them. 46. 48. Okay. You can just put your additionally your numbers in the chat box, so that if anyone mismatch is there, so it can be treated as your attendance. Thank you. So DSP lecture will be at 3 o'clock today. Means the other lectures are there, but as I swapped that lecture, so that's why informed to you. Okay. So you can leave the session and go for the next lecture. Thank you. Suhas Umate, are you there? Roll number 49. Roll number 49, are you there? Suhas Umate, roll number 49, are you there? Can you hear me? Roll number 45, Sagar, are you there? Roll number 45. Roll number 36, Ram Vijay, are you there? Roll number 22, Rupam, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.